So before I start going over the tests, both 7th and 8th grade, I want to just speak in general about some things that apply to both the 7th and the 8th graders and talk to you a little bit about how I see you doing your math. First of all, I want to talk about fractions. I purposefully put fractions on the 7th and 8th grade tests because I know that a lot of you still don't know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions. Many of you will have notes that I put on your tests that say, please look up operations with fractions on Khan Academy and learn how to do these, Mr. Rob. I'm continuing to push fractions. It's a 5th grade, 6th grade concept that if you have not learned, you will suffer for forever. Multiplication tables and fractions. I'm begging everybody, if you don't know how to add, subtract, multiply, or divide fractions, please look it up. Take some initiative and look that up and figure out how to do it, because we can't spend any more class time on it. Another thing I want to talk about, I've got little sticky notes here. Stop doing steps in your head. You're doing too much at the same time. There are so many mistakes, things that have been missed because you were trying to do it all in your head. You've got to write down every single step, and I will allude to that many times as we're doing this test. Okay, I'll talk about that quite often. Now, next item. Don't forget your variables. So many of you are working with variables in equations and in simplification and things like that, and you forget to bring the variables with. And I'll allude to that a few times as well. When you're solving word or story problems, word problems, use the equations you've come up with. Use those formulas. And so many of you are still combining like terms, but they're not like terms. You're combining variable terms with constants. I'll also talk about those too. Last but not least, when you're working with variables, whenever you have a chance, put things in alphabetical order. I know that's weird, but mathematically it makes sense as well. And I'll talk to you about that when we hit those problems. So mainly, just slow down. Think through things. Don't forget to bring your variables with you. Write stuff down. And please, 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 please take some responsibility and learn how to add and subtract and multiply and divide fractions. And if you don't know your times tables, get those down. And that goes for you parents as well. Be a great idea for you to do it with your kids.